Things I wish I knew when I first joined the FGC. So this is actually a thread that went pretty viral on Twitter for me. I make a point to write threads about fighting game concepts every so often. This one really resonated with a lot of people because a lot of people are joining the fighting game community. As a new player in the fighting game scene, it can be pretty intimidating to join a community that has such competitive and talented people. From commentators to bracket runners to pro players, there's a ton of people that just seem to have found happiness in this hobby. And it can be pretty alluring and pretty inviting to try to get that for yourself. You have to understand is though that we all started from the same place. We all just love fighting games and wanted to find a place that we can express that. That being said, it can still be a little scary, so I'm going to give you 5 things that I wish I knew before I entered the FGC. Number 5, you can ask people for games. I won't deny it's a bit nerve-wracking to ask anyone on a setup for games because it feels like you're such a bother, right? You're like, ooh, I don't know. I don't feel really good about it, etc., etc. But the reality is we're all there to play. We're all there to game. Very seldom are you going to find a person that won't be willing to play games, especially if they're alone on the setup. I promise you, no one there is out to tell you, I don't want to play fighting games. Chances are you're at a fighting game tournament. We spent the money. We got the hotel room. There's 8 of us in the hotel room. We're all looking to play games. You probably have already played games with people before you even got to the venue, right? Let's say you're one of the people that's new, completely new. You barely know anyone. You thought you'd check out the biggest major in your area, closest to your region. I'm telling you, it's so inviting, right? You're going to see someone, they're going to be playing, they're going to be grinding. Maybe they're by themselves. Maybe they're playing a set and they're laughing, having fun. They're people that they've never known. Just walk up and be like, hey guys, do you mind if I get in next? Really simple. It sounds a lot harder than it is, but really you can just walk up and say, hey, you guys are killing it. Do you mind if I get in? You know, can I get on this rotation? There's so many ways you can ask it. And in reality, there's so many ways you can just be told yes. I can personally say from experience, you know, I've never felt upset or frustrated if someone asked for some games. The reality is, if someone's doing something or going through a really important set or maybe doing some practice, you know, they'll probably let you know like, hey, I'm grinding a match up for a tournament. I'm so sorry. Do you mind if I play a couple more matches? All right, cool. You know, move on, keep it pushing, go to the next setup, right? Someone for sure will be available to play. And the best thing is you can even ask people you never thought would play with you. I've had people walk up to me all the time saying, hey, I'm really nervous. Can we play a set? No worries, bro. I'm here to play. Like, I love fighting games. If I have the time and I'm available, I will play. No matter who you are, we're all down to hit buttons, right? So chances are you got nothing to lose. Fighting games are just very inclusive like that. So don't ever be shy. Just pull up, ask for games. You'll be better off for it. Number 4, be sure to catch a top 8 at an event. The passion and energy of watching a top 8 and being so close to the action is electrifying. It really encapsulates all the intensity of a hard-fought bracket for these competitors. And that type of energy is something that you can't fabricate, right? You can only really experience it seeing a game performed at the highest level, and the passion that goes behind every single input, every motion. You're gonna see upsets and the pop-offs, the sadness, the crying, the tears, the relief. Like, you're gonna see clean gameplay. You're gonna see sloppy, messy Joe gameplay where people are literally eating their controller, but somehow they're winning things out. And then the crowd gets electrified. Dragon Ball Z Cell for some reason is playing on point. It must be 2016 or whatever. And we're all screaming, ah! You know, like, these types of things are just amazing. They're such an integral part of being in those grassroots fighting game tournaments where you can be right next to the stage and you can feel the energy and the production sound is all hitting you at once. You get absorbed. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what game it is. I will watch any game and I'll get immediately immersed because of that same energy. It's magical. And if people that love fighting games, you'll find love in that. The crazy thing is, it doesn't even have to be a game you play. Just peep some footage from Evo Top 8. Any game, it doesn't even matter. I could flip a coin, I could throw a dart on the board, it doesn't matter. Any top 8 for a major is just exciting. You'll have a renewed sense of respect for being a fighting game player, and that's awesome. Number 3, locals aren't everything, but it does all start there. You know, true story for me, I've said it more than once, but I'm a product of my local community. You know, I've played Marvel for over 10 years now, and when it comes to UMVC 3, there's no way I could ever be even remotely good as I am without my local community all the time. You know, they pushed me, they made me better. They let me play even when I was trash, you know, like I had what I felt was nothing to offer. But what I did bring to the table every time, even when I was bad and I first started, was I always wanted more. I was always down to play. I was always asking questions. I was always willing to learn, and I was always willing to accept my faults and also give myself credit when I did something right. You know, if I did a sick combo, I would pop off. I'd be like, let's go, I did this shit. That shit's so hard. And then I might lose the round. And that happened a lot, actually. But the online world has done a lot to connect us to people that are even continents away, literal miles, right? Thousands of miles. And I'm pretty grateful for that. But I can't deny that some of the greatest bonds that I've ever made in my tenure in the fighting game community comes from being in person. You know, vibing, laughing, breaking bread together. You know what I mean? Like, nothing quite like the after fighting game local Denny's at 1 in the morning, because God knows that 4-8 man bracket is going to take a couple hours. It shouldn't, but it does. And a lot of times we're cool with it. It's fun. You know, if you have the time, you can handle the energy, it's worth. But, you know, all jokes aside, it's something magical, right? Like, that's your community. That's the people that you can be closest with and have the same type of drive with in your local area. You know, I wanted that. I wanted to play fighting games with my local community. Just having that feeling, dude, just bringing that to the table, I want to play fighting games with my local community, is very powerful. Don't neglect how strong that is. Don't be shy. Like, hit up your locals, see what's good. I think it'll be worth your time. Number 2, root for your boys and gals. There's no gatekeeping when it comes to support. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie. I bring a different kind of energy to the support of my homies. All right. If you've met me before, if you've seen me, some people, they don't even know who I am, but they've heard me in the distance talking mad shit from my friends. That's what I do. That's what I bring to the table. You don't have to do that. But in the FGC, I think it's something magical and something so closely associated with what fighting games are, is just being there and supporting the hell out of people, being harassingly supportive of your crew. I love that. I root for anyone from Vegas. Don't matter who it is. You know what I mean? As long as they're not a terrible, shady person, I'll pull up and I'll be right behind you, jeering, cheering, saying all the things. You got this. What a drop. Oh my God. Good. He ain't blocking that. Oh God, he blocked that. What do we do? You know, it's for me, it's a vibe. You know, if you're near Vegas, from Vegas, my homies, I'll shit talk my enemies. I'll shit talk your enemies. I'll even applaud your enemies when they do work. That's just the kind of playful shit talk I live with, and in good faith, right? Like I said, I've had so many times where I've talked shit to another player. I've had so many times where I've talked shit to my homie's opponent, and then his homie's talking shit to them, and then they talk shit to me, and we're just kind of doing our thing, going back and forth, and at the end of it, someone wins, and we're like, oh, win or lose, we're like, all right, good stuff. You know what I mean? As long as what we said wasn't too crazy, it's handshakes after. You know what? You're right. Here's some money. I lost that side a bit, or give my money. Where you at? Shake hands. We did it. Just know that you can let yourself be absorbed in the culture. It's powerful. It's very magnetic for a reason. Just keep it in good spirit and good fun, you know? Like, don't be hurtful. Don't say things that would hurt you, like in a way that would really offend and really stick. You know what I mean? But you'll never regret the energy that you create when you let yourself be a part of it, right? When you add to it, being around all of those people, supporting your homies, you know? Be that sixth man, be that extra person on their team. The fighting game community has given me so much permission to just be myself and grow more into myself. I'm not gonna lie, it's really changed my life. It's given me the type of environment where I could thrive, where I could really entertain the idea, what if I let myself fall entirely in love with video games, and then specifically the fighting game genre and what it's done for me. I think it's one of the most intimate, most direct, most concise forms of communication between two people that love video games and love the esport and just want to have that conversation, but in a game. You know, you really get to understand someone. That's how I feel. The fighting game community let me do that. I hope it'll let you do the same. And number 1, don't just be yourself, but be the most yourself that you've ever been. That might sound a little cheesy, and it did take me a while to grasp this one, but the fighting game community really is that place. I'm not joking. This is a place where you can be yourself, where no one here judges. As long as you're not hurting anyone, you're accepted, you're loved, and that's a promise. I mean, I came from quite literally nothing, knowing nobody. All it took is one friend, one person who showed me love and said, hey, come to this local with me, we'll play some games. I did that, and I lost, but I made some friends, and I lost again, and I'd make more friends. And you just start building these bonds together, talking about last week's matches, how last week I blocked that shit, but this week, maybe I didn't block that shit at all. Maybe I didn't do anything, and I feel stupid, but I'm not gonna feel stupid next time, because now there's a kinship there, right? And I'm allowed to be myself. I'm allowed to play my own characters. I'm allowed to have my own gripes and grievances grievances. I'm allowed to vent my own concerns. I'm allowed to be a part of something bigger. And that only comes with the type of inclusive and encompassing community that the fighting game community is. It's really amazing. It's really something spectacular that I really hope more and more people can learn to experience and really let themselves be a huge part of, you know? If you like this video and you like this type of video where I go over a lot of my very popular thread topics, please let me know in the comments below. And if you have any feedback, please let me know. I'm always down to improve. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Much love to the FGC. See you guys later. Hold it! I just want to give a huge shout out to my patrons. And if you want to support the House of Justice and all of the House of Justice endeavors, as well as the people behind the scenes, editors, artists, please consider supporting through the Patreon. Thank you guys so much. Without further ado, here's the rest of the outro. Take that!